Let's move on to the Sunday Night Football matchup. The 6-5 Denver Broncos are coming off of a win against my beloved Chargers, who seem to be falling off of a fucking mountain, against the 7-4 Kansas City Chiefs. And Puma, I'm gonna start with you. Who do you got winning this game?
I mean, I'm going to go with Kansas City winning this game just because it seems like they've righted the ship. And I know, I've brought this up on the last 3 episodes. That, acquisition of Melvin Ingram is really a key part of that defense because they move Chris Jones inside. Frank Clark is actually starting to be the Frank Clark that he should be as a defender on the line. And it just seems you're getting people back in their natural positions. They're getting interior pressure on the quarterback. Steve Spagnuolo isn't really hanging out his secondary to dry without having any pressure up front. And Mahomes is actually, doing the quarterback thing, like taking the passes underneath and whatnot. But looking here, I do like Kansas City to win this game outright, especially if you look at the track record of Andy Reid coming off of a bye. I think it's almost like a perfect record at this point, or maybe he's got like less than a handful of losses, but he's a savage when he comes off a bye week. But I do think the Denver Broncos keep it close. I do think they keep it within the number. Right now, the point spread is Denver as 10-point dogs on the road in Arrowhead. But, this seems to have been a formula over the last 3 games. They've won by big numbers in 2 out of the 3. And they really have done that by establishing the run. Like Javonte Williams, I believe he was the 2nd-round draft pick out of the University of North Carolina. I was really hoping the Miami Dolphins would have snagged him in the draft, but we didn't. He's really started to establish himself as a potential RB1 behind Gordon back there for Denver. But, Teddy Bridgewater, he did get dinged up, but I think a Teddy Bridgewater on one leg with an injured shin is better than Drew Lock at this point. The defense, believe it or not, like the Denver Broncos defense has played better without Von Miller there. Like, and that's kind of insane to me because they just got Brandon Chubb off of injured reserve. So he wasn't even there the whole season, and they've been playing as a better unit for the Denver Broncos. Vic Fangio needs this game to keep his job. And, I mean, you really wouldn't know this, but, like, this is actually a battle for first place. Like, they're almost tied for the division lead at this point. But I think Kansas City squeaks out the win. I do like Denver to cover the 10 points, though.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos have been just far too inconsistent for me this year. They're getting blown out in games, obviously, by the Philadelphia Eagles a couple weeks ago. And then they're blowing out teams like the Chargers. Like, they've been so inconsistent with how they've played throughout the season. And Kansas City is the team in the AFC, as, a Patriots fan. The only team that really, truly scares the bejesus out of me, going into the playoffs and going deep into the season here. Excuse me, like you said, Puma, they seem to have righted the ship in terms of their defense. I agree with you. Melvin Ingram has been an absolute stud of an acquisition for this team for the reason that they were able to move Chris Jones into his natural position. And against the Cowboys, I believe before their bye, he was an absolute stud in that game. He was creating havoc for Dak Prescott. In the backfield there. Prescott couldn't do anything in that game. So the defense for Kansas City has absolutely come around. I was not in that ballpark the last time we talked about the Chiefs on the pod, but after what I saw against the Cowboys in that game, you'd be dumb to argue against that. They seem to have figured that out. Patrick Mahomes, again, I'm kind of beating dead horse here. He's taken the check downs now. He's not trying to make too much out of everything in terms of his throws. They seem to be on a bit of a roll right now, and I have the Chiefs winning this game outright and covering. I don't want to say it's going to be a blowout, but a 2-touchdown win in this game is where I think it's going to be. I think that the Chiefs are going to take care of their business, knowing that they kind of laid eggs early in the season, and they're trying to continue the upward trend that they've been building over the last few weeks. Parker agrees with me. He has the Chiefs winning this game. Look out for Kansas City. They're a team to really be afraid of going down the stretch in the season here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And the matchup that I'm really excited to see is how is Patrick Surtain going to be used? Is he going to be on Tyreek Hill?
Yes.
Because Surtain, I'm watching this Chargers Broncos game, and he's leaping off the field, man. He was giving Justin Herbert fits all day long, and yes, the Broncos defense is playing well, and yes, Surtain is a stud, and yes, with the when they took Von Miller off the team, they seem to play better, which says a lot, by the way. And this is a side note. I wonder just how much of friction Von Miller had over that party where they didn't want to pay him. I wonder if that was a real thing permeated throughout the locker room, because he leaves and they're playing really well defense, really good defense. Now, on the other side, I think I'm in the camp that I think it's gonna be a blowout. I'm sorry, I just don't see the Denver Broncos being able to play with the Kansas City Chiefs at a high enough level that that they can win. I think this is going to be like a 38-21 game. If I had to guess the final score right now, Patrick Mahomes is playing well. The offense seems to be coming alive, and like you said, Burge, besides the Chiefs and for me the Bills, there's not other teams that scare me as a Patriots fan. So I've got the Chiefs winning this easily. I think it's going to be over by halftime, truthfully, and we're going to move on from there.